Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Becky Setra. I hope you're doing well. So today I have a guest on my channel. She's one of my subscribers and she's been in the UK for a while. She's going to introduce herself, so I won't say much. And we happen to be in the same city. So today we're going to be talking about what you need to know about domiciliary care in the UK. Most of us back home, we don't do domiciliary care, or it's not something which is common to us, especially those of us from Africa. But if you're looking for domiciliary care in the UK, you need to know exactly what it entails. It helps you in your application process and all that, and how you can actually prepare before starting to look for such jobs. So I'm going to ask my guest to introduce herself in a minute. So if you really want to know more about this video, watch to the end. So you're welcome back. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, or this is the first time you're watching, please remember to like, subscribe and share. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you so much. So without wasting your time, I would ask my guest to introduce herself. There you go.
Thank you very much, Becky. My name is Olaire Jumbo, and I've been in Leicester City for about 6 months. So I'm here to actually talk about domiciliary care, and I want us to know what it entails to become a domiciliary carer in the UK.
Yeah, carry on.
So I would want to say that before you even think of applying as a domiciliary carer, there are some certain information and certain skills you need to have. Basically, domiciliary care entails you to have at least the 15 standards of care as a certification, and also for a senior carer who becomes a domiciliary carer, also need the level 3 diploma. Okay, and this level 3 diploma needs to come with a bit of experience, because most times they may not employ you directly as a senior carer, but they want to see the skills that you have, you know, before you become a senior carer. While some people already have the experience back home, and that will show in your CV before you are able to come as a senior carer. Now let's talk about the requirements that you need before you decide to even apply, or before you come down to the UK. One of the requirements employers are looking out for is for you to have driving experience. That is, you need to have a driver's license, because domiciliary care in itself is you going from one house to another, one destination to another. Now you're caring for people in their homes, and you need to go from one home to the other, and now you need a form of transportation. Most companies would tell you you can get your own car, while some will provide a car for you. So if you don't know how to drive, which is one of the requirements for most employers, you may not get the job, because they want you to be able to transport yourself from one resident to another. So that's a major requirement, apart from the qualifications you may have. Now some people don't know what it entails for you to become a domiciliary carer, what to expect, the challenges and the positive side of becoming a domiciliary, because I know that a lot of people want to hear the positive side and the negative side. Now let's talk about the positive side. The positive side is experience. If you're a domiciliary carer, you'll be able to gather or gain more experience than just being in a residential home. I don't want to say so much about residential, but because we're talking about the domiciliary care,
that's right,
you gain so much experience. You are on hand gaining experience. Most times there's things, clients you go to and you're not familiar with those clients, but because you are there as a domiciliary carer, you'll be able to experience, okay, this is the way I'm going to do it. So many equipment that you get used to. Like me, for example, there were so many equipment I got used to when I got here. There are a lot of equipment that I had to have an on-hands experience. Some I was taught, some of them I had to gain the experience right there in the spot. So as a domiciliary carer, those are the challenges. Sometimes you'll be in a situation and you'll be like, what will I do here now? You have to always have your thinking cap. Okay, this is what I'm going to do first before this. So is the experience you gain from becoming a domiciliary carer. Then also the positive side is that you'll be able to meet people. You make a lot of friendship. You know the town, you know the roads, you know, like me, for instance, I now go from one client to the other without thinking, okay, without using the Google map, without using my GPS and all that. So I go from one client to the other. I'm so used to the roads and so used to the client. That's one of the experience. Then let's talk about the challenges that you may face as a domiciliary carer. Most of the challenges that most domiciliary carers will work from the morning till the evening. So sometimes you might you have to wake up very early in the morning, and your first call is 6 o'clock or 6:30, sometimes 6:45, and you're doing this going from one client to the other till the end of the day, which can be 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. You know, so, and you're driving at the same time you're working. If you are the driver, you would work and drive. That's one of the challenges. It can be stressful because you're going to drive around your clients, and as you're done with one client, you're also running to the next client. So that's one of the challenges. Then the second challenge is if you're not properly trained to do your job, you might go to a client's house and don't know what to do, and you might face some situations that you don't know what to do, and you'll be confused of, you know, what process or what procedure you need to do. So in that case, most times the company would you want to call the office, you want to call who is in charge, your line manager, and this is what I'm facing and I don't know what to do. So those are the points. Then also one of the challenges of domiciliary care is also clients. Some clients might be very difficult, you know, and you can't choose your clients. No. You can't choose them. Yeah. You might be faced with some clients that either have some conditions that are very, like a client who has dementia and don't want to cooperate with you know, your care, who does not even want care at all. You'll find yourself confused because you won't know what to do. Like my own experience, I'll give you an example. I went to this client's house and she was in the last stage of her dementia, and she doesn't want care, she doesn't want anybody to touch her, and you must do the job. So that's a challenge on its own. That when you go to a client, you don't know what to expect. Some clients also would be okay today, they will cooperate with you today, and tomorrow they are something else. So those are the challenges you face as a domiciliary carer. you know. And in such situation, what we do most times is just to see if we can persuade. If it's not working, we try this and try that. We also call the office, and the office might tell us, okay, this is what we'll do. Maybe they could even send someone. In some cases, they can send someone down who is already used to that client in the past and all that. So those are the challenges you may have as a domiciliary carer.
So on your arrival to the UK, does the agency or your employers, let's say the employer, do they give you a good amount of training before you start? Or are you just, okay, you have arrived?
Most times they just throw you in the field.
Oh my God, okay.
You understand? Like, from my own experience, I was thrown into the field, you know, and you have to put on your thinking cap, because most times your CV comes with experience.
That's
and you are
right.
telling them that you are already experienced in some areas. So they will assume
that you know
what you're doing. So they throw you in the field, and that's how you learn on the go.
Okay.
But some employers would actually give you training. Like I know of someone who just came in and she got a job and she's being trained. You know, so don't expect so much when you come that, oh, you'll be trained and all that. They might just throw you in the field and you start working, because these people need us. They need your service. They need you coming, you know. And so because of that, they might not have that time to say, okay, let's do a formal training. You are on the job like this. So most times you don't have that opportunity to have you know, training.
So with the driving thing, you know, back home you're from Nigeria, right?
Yes,
I'm from Ghana. We drive a different way as compared to UK.
Yes.
How did you find that? Because here you are new, you don't know the roads, you don't know the areas, and then you're expected to start. You were given a car by the company.
Yes, I was.
And then you were expected to start. How did you find that?
That one's I would say that's another challenge I didn't even mention. When I came at first, because I was driving back home, you know, and you know, the roads are quite different from the way we know back home. Everything is in order here, let me put it that way. The street lights are everywhere. The roads are marked where you should pass and where you should, the one way and all that. So I was so new to everything. And I had a bit of confusion, let me put it that way. Back in Nigeria, we're doing the left-hand driving, but here is the right hand.
That's right.
And so many times I've turned the wrong way.
Oh, God.
And you hear people blowing their horn. But I got used to it. It didn't take so much time. I got used to it within, because you're on the road like this. They don't understand. They just look at you, okay, she drives.
Yes.
And they don't understand that we drive a certain way. But I had colleagues who really found it difficult to really drive. And that fear was there that they might, you know, do something wrong or make a mistake. So I was just on the wheels, on the go. But now I find myself driving.
Have you had any bad experience with parking your cars here?
Yes. You know, one thing in the UK, you do more of parallel parking. You know, and though I'm not done with my UK license, but I know that that's one of the tests they give to you before you get a UK license. Right. You must know how to park, because their roads are small. And so you find out that a very small road, you will see a car, you know, parked at the side of the other road. So you have to know how to navigate very well and park very well. So is the parking also is an issue, and sometimes you might go and park somewhere you're not supposed to park and it cause problems for you.
You'll be charged.
I had an experience where I parked in a residential area and they have a permit. I didn't have that permit, so that was my first offense.
Introduction.
Yes. So that was my first offense, and I got had to pay a ticket. But aside that, I've not had anyone.
Good, well done.
Yes.
So if someone from home wants to come here, how do they get the experience which is required in order for them to be able to be ready as soon as they get here, they are able to work? Because some people, because we don't have domiciliary care back home, which other means people can use to get the care experience? Is it like working in a hospital, working, you know, how do people get these?
Aside doing the courses, because the courses are theoretical,
online,
you know, they are not physical, you know, practical courses. You need to be registered, do like an internship or get an experience from a hospital or a care home. I would even prefer a care home because most of the hospitals, they just give you clinical experience. You're not going to really do things of clinicals here when as a domiciliary carer, but more of caring for, you know, your individual. And those care does not really have those clinical, you know, you don't need those clinical in quotes, you know. There's a limit where you can do that, but you need to have that care home experience or a residential. We do have some back home,
Nigeria.
Yes, in Nigeria and Ghana, where you have that hands-on experience. There are some good places that where you could go to in Nigeria and also Ghana, where you can have that you know, care home experience, caring for an individual. Now what I want to say, the UK, they're more practical and more serious about their laws, you know, and there are some things we do back home that is not allowed here. When you come, you understand. You know, one of these areas are confidentiality and also safeguarding of adults. They take it seriously here. So you have to, even though we do some things wrong back home, it's not accepted here. You know, you need to have that, put it at the back of your mind that you need to learn some laws when you come here. I know they have them in the courses, but they are practical here. You know, you might not practice it wherever you are right now, but you practice it here. So those are the things that I think you need to. Then you need to learn how to drive. Those of you who are just maybe learning, you have to learn very well, because before I came, I tried to learn the right hand driving, but I couldn't get a company who have right hand driving cars back home. So and again, they have more manual cars here. I was surprised when I came. They have more manual cars than automatic, but that doesn't mean you can't drive automatic cars here. You could choose to get your own car. You could choose to use the company's car. There's no restriction, but some companies do want to give you their car to use. You know, as the time goes on, you might want to get your own car and be free. So
on a daily basis, so let's say you're starting at 6:45, so you get to somebody's home. What are you expecting? I know everybody is different. Each client has their own individual needs. So what are some of the things that you would do when you go to a client's house in the morning? Let's say it's a first call. Is it cooking, washing? What?
Okay. Basically, the care entails caring. Those, you know, you care for the client. Now, some clients' needs are different from some others. So, but what you do basically is just general caring for the client, making sure like, for example, making sure there are some bed-bound clients.
Yeah.
There are some clients that can move. They could do some things for themselves. Now we are taught to allow the clients to do as much as they can for themselves. To give them
independence.
Because that's how you know, that's how you give them their dignity and respect.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's part of care. You have to allow them to do some certain things for themselves. You know, I've realized that they want to do some certain things for themselves. They don't want to feel as if they can't do things for themselves. So you allow them. So it entails their personal care, which can entail their bathing, their dressing up, and their personal care, their feeding, their cooking. Some clients, you do cook for them. You make them their breakfast, lunch and dinner. Depends on the number of calls you have for a particular client in a day. Like for me, I have a car client I care for 4 times in a day. So you make sure they have all these things done for them. Some will tell you they want this, so you have to give them what they want. You know, some clients are more their needs are different from the others. So some clients, you have to make sure that they've taken their medication. You prompt their medication. Some you administer. Now that when you prompt, you're just reminding that client, oh, you need to take your medication. While some you administer for them. That is, you give them their medication and you make sure that they take it. Then we have what we call our logbook, like a file that we document everything that we have done for the client for that day. Now everything is digital now, so we don't need to write with pen and paper. We just have an app where we log in, we scan for the day, then we write in our notes and everything. And there are some clients you have to use all equipment for, so you need to know how to use this equipment. Some, when you come, you will be able to be taught how to use them, like the hoist, the rotunda. Those are equipments that you use to transfer, you know, clients from one place to another. Like if they are bed bound, some clients are bed bound, some clients can stand but they can't walk. So you need to use all these machines, these equipments to be able to you know, move them from one place to another, one seat to another. So those are the basic things we do for each of the clients.
So in a day, how many clients would you have visited? The total.
Well, speaking from my own, it might be different from others, you know, other people, but I do up to 20 clients, 21 clients in a day. Sometimes I've done 22. The highest I've done was 23.
Oh my God. So how long, I know everybody's needs are different, so how long in a day do you spend with one of them? About 30 minutes? Less than
that? Sometimes you spend up to an hour.
Oh, okay.
An hour, 30 minutes. It depends on the needs of the client. You know, some clients need more care than the others. Then they have other clients where you can do up to 3 hours, 4 hours, and there are some clients you need to stay over the night with. So, but those are conditions with the employers. They will tell you which one you should do.
So you've been here for 6 months now. How do you find the whole care thing? I know when we are back home, we think differently until you get here. So what's your general assessment?
It was very different. I must say it was very different. The very first week, I must be honest, I was surprised. It's surprising in the sense that I had to cope with a lot of different things that we do not see back home. You know, navigating the roads, getting to your clients, and you just have a space of 30 minutes to take care of a client. You know, most times in the mornings they give you more time, like 45 minutes, and sometimes an hour 30 minutes for a client because of the needs of the client. So and you just have to, if you do extra for a client, you won't be paid for that.
Okay,
so you need to do whatever you need to do within that space of 30 minutes or 45 minutes or 1 hour or 1 hour 30 minutes you have been given. So if you do extra, you will be paid.
And sometimes you can get late for the next person if you're not on time.
Yes, if you are not on time. So we saw all that as a challenge. We were, that first time, but I've gotten a grip of that.
So your general assessment, is it a good adventure to have come or not?
It's a good adventure, I would say.
It's worth it.
There's culture shock too. Especially you're going to deal with the foreigners and people who have lived here for all their lives. So and they think differently. There are some things that we do back home that is not accepted here.
That's right.
And you need to understand their culture.
And adjust
to it. So those are also the some of the challenges you face. You need to know some limitations. You need to know your boundaries.
That's right.
So
on your pay as a domiciliary carer, I'm not saying you should mention how much you earn. Are you able to pay your bills and able to have something left to save?
Well, that is more or less like a personal thing.
That's right.
There are some people who, like for me, I'm a very prudent person. And it only what I from what I've seen is that you have to know how to plan. Because if you're not someone that has been planning back home, it's going to be very difficult for you here. Because everything is planning here. Everything you need to do, you need to plan. You need to plan to pay your bills. You need to plan to save. You need to plan for your groceries. You need to plan everything, and it's because of planning that I find it more easier to be able to handle my finances. You need to plan. I know that most of us will come here and say, okay, you can't do that. You can't spend as you like, because we are paid the minimum. We are paid the minimum. Some of us decided to do extra jobs. You can actually do that, take more shifts and all that, but you have to also look at your health. Because if you work, I don't believe personally working 7 days a week, but if you find some people doing that, and it's not very advisable. So you need to plan, how much am I paying for my taxes, my rent, for feeding, and and every other thing. You need to plan, okay, this is what I'm going to take out of my salary. If you do all that, you'll be able to sustain yourself and be here.
On average, how much is like the hourly pay for domiciliary care? Average,
it's from £10. £10. So it's that's the starting point. So most employers, while some employers is 10.50, while some employers are up to 11, 12, but it depends on where you are. Like London, I've heard is higher because of the cost of living in London.
That's right. That's right. So. Okay. That's quite a very interesting discussion we've had, I think. And I think most people, this will clarify a lot of people's, whatever they may be thinking about. And do you know if there are still jobs around? Because I knew previously there was a lot of overseas recruitment, but it got to a point, it's like people are preferring people who are already in the UK rather than going outside.
That's relative. They still need carers. They still need domiciliary carers, senior health carers, but like you rightly said, they like people here already. Why? Because it's kind of easier. And the UK have what they call this DBS,
Yeah.
check. All those things have been checked for the person to be in UK. It's easy to get and all that, and the person probably must have had UK experience.
Yeah.
So it's natural to want to hire such people,
Yeah.
but that doesn't mean they don't recruit from abroad.
overseas. Some are still recruiting,
yes,
but we don't know names of agencies. We don't know, so please don't ask about what is your agency. Anyway, I can ask her and I'll tell you what agency if you want to, but we don't know whether your agency is still recruiting. She's been here for 6 months and that's her experience. I hope this has been helpful, and so take care of yourselves, and I'll see you again later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.